start just with your first name.
Emily. My question is, we have these spiritual teachers in our lives that come into our lives, people that we have relationships with. And you guys have referred to them as stackers. And I'm wondering if they're always negative, and if they are negative, can they become positive? And are they people that should maybe not be in your life if they're negative?
That's right, eliminate those people.
Yeah.
That'll handle it.
I know
Well,
it
there
sounds
goes my
funny.
entire family.
Well, let's talk about this a little bit more, because you know that some of our foundational principles are that Earth is a school, and the curriculum of for each one of us really is our own God-given opportunity to grow and evolve spiritually more into the awareness of the loving that resides inside of us. So these people that we experience as stackers, and often they may be family members, they can come in all forms.
And flavors.
These people really often serve to trigger the unresolved material within our own consciousness, which is our opportunity to really grow on the soul line. But it's not easy to move out of our upset and disturbance because of what other people do or don't do, in some cases, according to our preference, our idea of the way we would like them to be. And to recognize that the real opportunity is dealing with whatever upset it brings forward inside. On this planet, we are conditioned to look for the cause of our upset out there. It's somebody else, it's a situation, it's a circumstance, it's something that happened to us. But in this particular work, we're saying, don't look out there, look at what it's bringing up inside of you. So what does this particular relationship trigger for you, Emily? It's okay. It's okay. Is this feeling that comes up part of what it triggers?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, how would you characterize that feeling?
I just feel like it brings up, well, rejection, I've talked about before. Worthiness.
So hurt feelings, rejection.
Not being seen.
Not being seen, not
being regarded for my
Yeah.
experience.
yeah. So somehow
Being made wrong for my experience.
So what if the opportunity in this is to work with the part that feels that way? And you know from the classes that one of the very powerful principles of spiritual psychology is that healing is the application of loving to the parts inside that hurt. So when that part that feels hurt and disregarded, invalidated, unworthy, when those feelings come up, then that is really your God-given opportunity to bring compassion to that place inside of you that feels that way. Not to feel sorry for yourself. I really want to distinguish this from falling into the self-pity, but genuine compassion for yourself and the place inside that feels that way.
Okay.
See, so then, it's easy in the kind of relationship that you're describing, not only to feel hurt, but to feel angry and to feel like if only they didn't treat me this way, things would be so much better. But really, that's an error in approach because we don't have dominion over other people. What we do have dominion over is within our own consciousness. And so by recognizing, oh, that hurt, that is really triggering a place inside me that feels very little, feels rejected, it feels unworthy, it feels unheard, disregarded. You know, and you start being very loving with that part and very compassionate.
So for the benefit of the new people here, how do you do that? How do you do that? Well, anything that is a reference point for you for loving will work. Maybe you have a relative, maybe a young child that you really just, when you're in their presence, you just melt. Or for some people, it's a spiritual reference. Maybe it's Christ, maybe it's Buddha, maybe it's, for some people, it can be a pet will do. For some people, it can be a place in nature. Any place that when you think about it in your mind, it takes you into a place of loving inside. And then you take that loving that you experience and you bring it to the place inside where you experience the hurt. Healing is the application of loving the places inside that are hurt. Why? Because they just dissolve them. The hurt places are barriers, they just dissolve them. Or, as I mentioned before, the other tool that you know very well to work with that is self-forgiveness. Self-forgiveness essentially says, I forgive myself for having bought into that rule in the first place. I didn't know any better. I forgive myself for having bought into the illusion that I deserve to be rejected or that I'm unworthy or that I'm anything less than a loving being. See, the further down we go in the evolutionary dimension, the more we believe that stuff. The higher we go, the more we shed that, the more we let go of it, the more we see ourselves for who we truly are, which at USM we say is a divine being having a human experience. Now, easier said than done. You know, this takes practice. This isn't something that you just, oh yeah, I'm going to do that. Like I'll order the turkey sandwich instead of the chicken. Just, you know, I mean, this is stuff you really, it's a reprogramming because we were not brought up to think this way.
Well, thank you. I felt like last weekend I was here, I thought I was miraculously done with it. I really did last weekend. And then
you were done with it to the degree that you were done with it.
and then it came back.
Well, no,
Well,
it doesn't
not
come back.
necessarily.
See, growth is a process, not an event. So you addressed whatever part of it you addressed, and there's some still remaining for you to address.
Okay.
See, maybe that particular issue has 10 parts to it, and you let go of 1 or 2 of them, and there's 8 more. Or maybe it has 10 parts to it, and you let go of the 8th one to take it to the 9th one, and maybe there's just 1 more to go.
Okay.
We never know. We never know.
Can only hope.
Well, you know, so what is your reference point for loving? What is that person, place, pet, that when you think of them, it's very heart-opening for you?
My cat who died. But even when I think of her,
It still has,
Oh, yeah.
she's still very precious
Yes,
to you.
yeah. My nephew, who's 4.
So what happens if you go into that hurt place and you bring your nephew in there? It dissolves it.
He's a big ball of joy.
That's right. Healing is the application of loving to places inside that hurt. The more we get into this stuff, the more we just get better and better and better at doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you.